Hello, fellow spies, and welcome to a very special episode of What the Famicom. The only episode approved by the Queen.
Is this the only one?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, she's dead, so she can
Well,
approve
I was
anything.
going with the Earthworm Jim references, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there's a
But
Queen and
anyway,
Earth.
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
this is a very special James Bond episode
Ooh,
because we are talking about Goldeneye 007
oh my
for the
God.
Nintendo 64.
One of our favorite games. I'm your co-host. What the Nick Odd Job?
And
Penda?
I'm your other host. What the Dan Jawsacom.
I was gonna do Jaws, and now it's because I thought you were gonna take Odd Job. So I got Odd Job first.
I like how we picked just villains. We didn't even name ourselves James
No,
Bond.
no. Odd Job and Jaws were the only
Yeah.
two I was gonna mention.
Yeah, so we're here to talk about, I think this is like 5 years in the making because I'm pretty sure I made a note about this like years ago that I wanted to do this episode and just never got around to it.
It's kind of like the golden age of gaming. What was it? 97, right?
97, yeah, like everyone owned this game. Everyone remembers it. Everyone's probably like, Dan and Nick, why haven't you released an episode? Hey, we were waiting for the Queen to die.
Yeah, and now that she's been dead for long
Oh,
enough,
yeah.
and we're not afraid that she's going to come back and ruin this episode,
Well, we had
it's
to
safe
find
to
all the
say,
articles, all the information, we got to do some homework.
yeah,
So in
we got to
between the time
click,
she died and then now,
like typing words and clicking
yeah.
them. Yeah, it takes that much time, at least.
Um, I mean, so yeah, it's like pulling teeth getting the Queen to die. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's how she died.
Oh, someone was pulling her teeth?
Yeah, by hand, each one.
All right. So we'll be right back after this. We're gonna get in Goldeneye, where it's from, where it's been.
Where it's going.
Is it a Pierce Brosnan simulator? Is it a spy simulator? Is it an STD simulator?
Oh,
You never know. You're gonna find out later. I
find
don't
out.
think
Stay
either one of
tuned.
us have STDs, but we'll find out later too.
We'll find out later, too.
Yeah, we'll be right back after this. That's what James Bond does. He lies to women. He's got STDs.
No, I didn't do any research for this, so I was hoping you would be able to lead.
I've always wanted to Mrs. Doubtfire like a situation.
Dress like a woman, throw a large fruit at someone's head, and then afterwards say it was a run by fruiting.
You're
Like,
disgusting for not knowing I'm disgusting.
you do this every episode. You just talk about your favorite game you're playing, and it's always Resident Evil.
I mean, all my heroes are getting canceled. Might as well get canceled too, right?
Can we talk about just multiplayer forever?
The 007 of Me Too. I mean,
How is he the 007 of me too?
Because he's
I'm really
really
trying
good
to
at
wrap
it.
my head around that.
there was a very famous celebrity that was in Philadelphia recently that I have to tell you about. So this famous
Okay.
celebrity, since this episode
Is
is about,
is it a famous celebrity that I recognize as a famous
Oh, yeah.
celebrity? First off,
100%.
okay, interesting. All right, that's fine.
I guess technically, so for what he's famous for, and this episode's about 007 and James Bond, he's pretty much the James Bond of what he's famous for. Okay.
Okay.
So last week, I'm pretty sure it was last Friday, he was having a movie premiere of like a small movie he was making, and they were premiering it at a theater called the Ritz in Center City, Philly.
Yeah, the Ritz.
There's like two or three of them, so they're like really fancy. They only show like two or three screenings, and at the very last minute on Friday night, the company that was doing the screening and the Ritz were like, "We're not fucking doing this anymore. We don't want you here." They just kicked them out.
Okay.
So they had to improvise and go to the closest theater. So the closest theater that they had the screening for this actual movie for
Okay.
was our generic plain AMC in a mall where I live.
No, I thought you were gonna say our AMC, dude. Is that even still there?
No,
Like
it's
Cotton?
not, but it's still like a
Okay.
regular mall movie theater, like a generic, like people were walking around all the time. Like it's not a fancy theater. So they had this famous person in the hallways. The same night I was there, I was probably like at the same time I was there.
Yeah.
You're never going to guess who this celebrity was.
So who was it? Just come on, I've been waiting.
Kevin Spacey.
No, are you dead serious?
The 007 of Me Too. I mean,
How is he the 007 of Me Too?
'Cause he's
I'm really
really
trying
good
to
at
wrap
it.
my head around this. He's good at Me Tooing?
getting Me Too'd.
Oh, getting Me Too'd.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
correct.
like think about that. James Bond, he's really good at like being a spy. Kevin
Yeah.
Spacey, really good at being
Me Too'd?
Me Too'd. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't put that connection
But yeah, there's
together,
even
but it makes
pictures.
total sense.
Someone
What
we
the
know,
hell is he releasing?
F
Is it
knew someone that went to the premiere, and they
Oh.
had pictures of him in the hallway, in the same hallway I walked to go see Ghostbusters recently.
Okay, that's incredible that you walked the same steps as he does.
I was this close to taking him down. It was like as if John Wilkes Booth didn't kill Lincoln.
Well, people say you've been walking in his steps for years.
John Wilkes Booth?
Kevin Spacey. So now
What
you
if
actually did it.
what if I
What if
walked
what?
up but what if I walked up to him and I shook his hand and I said, "Thank you for your service"?
Oh my God. Oh my God. What if oh, I forget his character's name in House of Cards. If he turned into Frank, whatever.
I mean, he probably did talk like because he still makes those videos.
I know. That's the weirdest thing in the world where he's like, I think everyone's aware of
Yeah.
what's
So,
going on. I'm
what
like,
was the movie
okay.
called? It was like Ben. It was literally called like Ben 58 or something like that.
Is that why he wasn't allowed to Ritz? Did they not
Yes,
reserve it?
that's
Nuh-uh.
literally why they were like, "Wait a minute, it's Kevin Spacey."
That's
No.
nuts.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He got Me Too kicked out of the Ritz.
I was probably peeing in a stall and he was probably right next to me.
Did you look over?
I looked at his shoes. They looked like they were like branded House of
So
Cards
you
Nikes.
so you looked at his shoes and the urinal.
Yeah. I went
Okay.
down. I like really got low.
I can picture you getting really low at the urinal. Like
I'm
just
like, hey,
squatting to the
don't worry
ground.
about me. I'm just trying to check out your
You
shoes right
shake
now.
ass and
So
shoes
Kevin
and shoes.
Spacey, a guy we haven't mentioned on this podcast in like a long time. We used to
It's
mention him all
been
the time.
6 months. Yeah. The running joke was we would mention him and someone else who may come up later in the episode. Who knows?
Uh, okay. Okay. But like, yeah, we used to mention him all the time. We just stopped. And now
Yeah.
that we stopped mentioning him, he comes to our home city
No,
to
he's
just like
coming to
hang
get
out.
us.
He just wants to be a normal human. Why are you harassing him?
You apparently you were because you were trying to pee next to him. I don't know. This is so
Check out his
wild. I
shoes.
can't believe it.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey was in Philly, and it's just the funniest thing that like he was trying to have a private screening of a movie, and the movie theater, the small movie theater that's like fancy, was
Yeah.
like, no, stop.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Nope, don't. You're not allowed. Well, so my question is, our AMC Orleans, is it open anymore? The one we used to go to as
So
kids?
we had an AMC theater near us in our neighborhood when we grew up. I'm pretty
Yeah, the
sure
one.
it like got demolished years ago.
Did it?
I saw Independence Day there. I
Roosevelt
saw
Mall.
Die Hard with a Vengeance there.
I yelled for Dean when we went into Sixth Sense, and then the movie theater was sold out, and we couldn't sit with him.
Who's Dean?
I don't know. This has come up before. He's H dot dot dot's friend, and he came with us, and he was going to sit with us because we all bought tickets to see Sixth Sense, but it was sold out. So he sat somewhere
Wait,
else.
if you bought tickets and got a ticket,
Yeah.
how did they not let you in?
No, they let us in. We had to sit separate because there weren't
Oh,
seats together for like
look at
six
that.
teams or whatever
Everyone
we
who's
were.
listening, anybody under the age of fucking, I don't know, 40,
Wait,
probably doesn't remember that you had to kind of bank on hoping there's seats with these.
I thought assigned seating was like in the past 5 years now. Has it been around for like
Oh,
that
you might
long?
be right. Yeah.
Okay, that's now I don't know. Even weirder, my son, Connection, asked me what the Sixth Sense was because, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "They're always dead, or they were dead." And I was like, "What? Like, kind of? Is it scary?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "I saw this in movie theaters, and Dean didn't get to sit with us. So when the movie starts, they said somewhere of the year Philadelphia, everyone in the
Uh-huh.
movie theater clapped, and I said, 'Hey, Dean,' really loud, and like every one of my friends that was sitting next to me thought it was really funny, and I think he
Did I
heard me.
find out? It seems like
I don't
something I
know.
would not find funny.
It actually seems like something you would find funny, which is your kind of humor.
Have I ever laughed at anything you've ever said?
You always laugh, and you do that weird thing with your laugh where you go cute, 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 cute. Shit,
Am I
can't
like a
even
Looney Tunes
pretend.
character?
Yeah, you are. You hide it in the podcast very well, but in real
I
life, it
edit
goes
it out
cute,
every
cute, cute,
time.
cute, cute. Yeah,
Coo, 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 coo.
yeah. So, uh,
Anyway,
I
we saw
forget where that
Sixth
was
Sense.
going.
Nick was
Yeah,
asking
Sixth
for Dean.
Sense. I was
Wait,
asking for Dean.
is
What?
that how narcissistic people from Philly are? That when it says Philly
Yeah,
in a movie, they clap,
yeah. Philadelphia is the most. What's the word for it?
proud of their own city.
Yeah, but they want to make fun of their own city. They want to talk about their own city. It's like a niche thing. Like they want to they'll go up to you and tell you they're from that city.
I mean,
Like you could talk to someone from a city in Idaho and you might never find out they're from Idaho. You might not hear about their city.
yeah,
If you meet
yeah.
someone from Philadelphia, you're gonna know they're
They
from
won't shut the
Philadelphia.
fuck
Like
up about it. I
right
think I
about
recently was
right
telling
away.
my girlfriend about like something that was filmed here, and she was like, you're the person I know that loves Philly the most."
No,
I
that's everyone in Philly.
Yeah, like I didn't think to me, I was like, oh, that's just what I'm doing.
It's like it's the most neighborhood city in the world. So like you're from a neighborhood, you always bring up your
Yeah.
neighborhood. Yeah.
Hey, and a Mannequin was filmed here. Remember Mannequin?
I remember Mannequin.
Mannequin 2.
Mannequin.
Mannequin.
Manicotti.
Madagascar. Ben Stiller, Lion. Think about it.
Were we just doing like where we just say words that sound like other words?
Yeah.
Do we
Isn't
do
that what
that
this
all the time? I don't
do
think
we do
that's
it
what
all
we
the
do.
time? I don't know.
All right, now I gotta think
Anyway,
about it.
Kevin Spacey, Me Too, Sixth Sense,
AMC Orleans.
AMC
Do you
Orleans.
know how much tickets cost?
I would say in the late 90s, probably like $3.
Yeah, $3.50.
Did you have a ticket stub? Is that what you remember?
No, I just remember like that was the how old people talk about how much a gallon of milk costs or how much whatever costs.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of those numbers from my youth. I do remember the movie ticket price. That's the only thing I remember.
My brother used to save C dot dot dot. I'm not gonna say his full name.
Okay, dot
Uh,
dot dot off.
yeah. He used to save movie ticket stubs, and he still, I guess he can't
Does he?
anymore.
No, they fade, don't they?
Yeah, they were so faded.
So is it just like white pieces of
I'm
paper
pretty
that are
sure it
blank?
was
That's
for like the
awesome.
longest years. I hope he
Hey,
hears this.
hey, I hope he hears this. Shout out. I'm glad you have white pieces of paper. I'm glad you saved them. Actually, I'm glad. I'm glad they're faded. How about
I
that?
think so when we were younger, my sister had a crush on Denzel Washington, and
I
she had a
can't recall
picture
that.
of a newspaper photo of him for
Hmm.
when he was here filming.
In Philadelphia, of course.
Yeah, what was that movie that he filmed
Which
here?
one?
The
Uh,
supernatural one. Fallen. So there was a
sure.
picture of him from the newspaper, and my sister cut it out and put it on her bedroom wall, and it
Yeah.
became like the most faded thing. Well, I guess she must have had it up there for like years because
Yeah,
I
dude,
remember.
she used to kiss it every night.
Yeah,
And it faded
and
more
then
and more.
C dot dot dot. My oldest brother used to use it as a glory hole.
He didn't.
So my sister used to kiss it. Wait, that just sounds disgusting.
Yeah, you said it in the wrong
I
word.
said it
That's
in.
incorrect.
I hope my mom doesn't hear this.
Anyway, no. AMC Orleans. Let's get us back on track, right?
Yeah.
$3.50. Should
Uh-huh.
we name every movie we saw there?
I can name the last movie I saw there. It was Balls of Fury. It was a ping pong
Yeah,
comedy
I,
with
I know what that is. I'm trying to
Christopher
remember what
Walken.
year that came out.
2006.
Did you still live in the city? It's disgusting.
Come on, man. You
I
know I couldn't
know.
afford to move anywhere else.
uh,
What else? I
yeah.
saw Independence Day. I saw Die Hard. I got kicked out of Scream. Oh no, I
You
got
got
kicked out
kicked
of
out of
Scream.
Scream?
I went to go see Scream 2, and the guy
Yeah.
kicked me out because I wasn't old enough.
Oh, they used to check your ID, like
Hmm.
going in. No, are you
Yeah.
18?
I
Actually,
don't
that was a
think
big one.
so. Rolling it back to James Bond, I don't think I saw any James Bond movies, any of these Pierce Brosnan movies in theaters.
I wonder if I saw Pierce Brosnan as Run by Fruiting in
Oh, I'm gonna
whatchamacallit?
run by
Run by
Fruity.
Fruiting. That's my favorite Pierce Brosnan scene, and it's not even from any of his movies, really.
Classic.
With Mrs. Doubtfire.
I've always wanted to Mrs. Doubtfire like a situation.
Like dress like a woman, throw a large fruit at someone's head, and then afterwards say it was a run by fruiting.
Exactly that.
You could.
I might do it live, and I like that'll be like a live segment of the podcast.
It would be the best thing you could do for this podcast. Honest.
Honestly, this podcast is going down the toilet. It could be the only thing that saves it.
I guess so. It was a run by fruiting.
Yeah,
Courtesy. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of toilets, I accidentally clogged my toilet at work, but it wasn't me, and it
Okay.
wasn't like
Are you sure?
I don't even know anymore.
Okay, that's fine. You don't have to know.
So for some reason, like the pipes were all fucked up. So like even
Why
if
were you using the toilet? Were you pooping?
no, I was changing before I went to the gym, and I hit the
Why?
sensor. The sensor picked up me changing, so
Okay.
it flushed and then made all the toilets in the
You almost
portion.
said oil.
Oh, that's so embarrassing. I'm gonna edit it out.
You should.
But it made all the other for some reason like the pipes affected all the other toilets and made them all flush too, and the water was coming up.
Okay.
And I was like, oh shit. So I'm just gonna stop. I avoided the sensor. I went to the gym. I came back and changed again, and it did the same thing. And then the water wouldn't stop coming up
Hmm.
because it picked up my sensor. The sensor picked me up. So as soon as I was leaving, water was literally overflowing out of the toilet. So I
Yeah.
ran downstairs, the front desk of the building, and I told the woman, I was like, hey, like, toilets are overflowing. I was changing. It wasn't me.
Toilets.
I
Did you
immediately
say
said,
that? Is that part of the
it
sentence?
wasn't me. So of
Yeah.
course she thinks, oh my God, this guy just fucking took a nasty shit.
This guy ruined our toilet
Or he
system.
flushed his tampons and like,
He's causing all sorts of issues. He's trying to flush something he shouldn't be flushing. You did clog the toilet, technically.
that's what, yeah. But it was really funny when I was trying to avoid the sensor the second time. And it was like a horror movie because I was leaning up against the door of the stall
Yeah.
so close because I didn't want the sensor to pick me up.
It's kind of weird, but also, well, that's your life, man. That's good.
That's
I'm
life.
glad. I'm glad
Yeah.
for you.
So Kevin Spacey, a toilet. I had a pretty crazy week.
It's kind of wild.
You had an even crazier week because you coach football. You started off a new season.
I do that all the time. It's really funny that I didn't know this. I coach age 7 to 9 flag football.
He doesn't talk about it a lot because I think there's like a law that says he can't be near children.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, they had me become coach,
Okay.
right? They were like, "Can you coach the team?" Yeah, sure. My son's on the team. I don't know anything about football. I've never coached before in my life. I coached the team. They did okay.
Hmm.
They were like, "Hey, next season, can you coach again?" I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." I coached again. Now I'm on my fifth season, just about
You've
a
done it
month.
5 times.
Yeah, and wait, it's because maybe even six at this point. Meanwhile, just about a month ago, they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we need you to fill out this form." I was like, "Oh, what is it?" We need to check your child clearances. Now's a good time to do that. I've coached these kids for like a
Can you
year.
imagine
If they came
if you
back
were a
bad,
pervert the first
oh
year?
my God. They would be like, "Oh no, we have like a laundry list of bad things on this guy, and he's already been coached for 5 years." You know what I would have done? I would have blackmailed him. I said, "You let me coach kids? That's disgusting." And they'd
You're
have been like,
disgusting for not knowing I'm disgusting.
"Yeah." And I would have said this: "If you don't let me coach one more season, I'm going to tell all the parents that you shouldn't have let me coach." And then what are they
That's,
going
I
to do?
mean, that's a good blackmail.
Then they got me, and then I got to coach again.
You're me tooing them before they
Yeah,
me too you.
yeah. Anyway, it came back pretty clean. Yeah, so we're good.
Can you imagine if you came back for something you didn't know? Like you broke some law like years ago in Delaware and you're like wanted.
Even weirder. What if it was like, yeah, it says you can't be around kids and split pea soup? And I'd be like, excuse me? I don't
Be
know.
like, yeah,
I'm
it
just
said here in 1998,
you can't have
you had an
soup
incident.
with soup. And I'd be like, I didn't know. And they're like, a lot of our workers have soup here. You're not allowed in the building when they have
Sometimes they
soup.
keep it at home. Sometimes they bring it to games. I don't think they're
They'll
gonna feel safe.
microwave it. Yeah, so you're not allowed in.
Well, I'm glad. Good to know on this podcast live, like we just found out live, that you
Live,
don't have
live.
any
Child issues or
child
something.
issues. So
Yeah.
if any children are listening, you're allowed to continue listening.
All right, here, I'll say this. Last season, I had the best team I ever had. Those kids can run, catch. They know where to be in position. I just tell them, yo, we're going to run trips to the left and all three right up, line up over here. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
I tell who's going to be center, who's quarterback. We have like set positions. I'm like, yo, guys, Tui is slanting to the right. The other guy, like, go out here and do a curl. See if we can pull them off of their zone coverage, right? And they all know what they're talking about. They all do it. That team won just about every game. I would high five those kids. Awesome. You just met the kids yesterday. Three of them are cousins, and they've never played football together. They're like friends.
Are their parents cousins too?
Yeah. I don't know. And not nothing against them. It's just it's a world of difference when they're like facing the wrong way when we get to the line of scrimmage. They don't know what the line of scrimmage is.
They
One kid
put
was like, "What's?"
they put their shoes on their hands.
One kid was like, which one's that?" And I said, "That's the quarterback." And he said, "Which one's quarterback?" And I said, "The guy who throws the ball."
Oh my God, for the first time, I know more than a kid who
Yeah.
plays football.
Yeah. So
Even I would know. Well, I guess if you showed me a bunch of quarterbacks, famous quarterbacks now, I probably wouldn't be able to tell that
you'd
they're
know Dan
quarterbacks.
Marino, Ace Ventura too.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. See?
Right. You remember that scene? You know, there was a deleted scene where Ace Ventura like pretends to be German. And it only showed up
Keep
on
going.
TV.
No, wait, and it showed up on the TV version?
Sometimes in TV versions of movies, they add deleted scenes in. I don't know if you knew this. I'm not even making this up.
It wasn't edited for bad like words
No,
or
no, there
something?
was a scene where
Oh.
he's in like the tank and people are like, who the hell is that guy? And he starts putting on an accent. It could be offensive now. I don't know.
Yeah, he pretends to be the Dolphins trainer.
Oh, is that not a deleted scene?
I don't think it is. It's just part of the movie,
Or
as far as
maybe
I
we
know.
just saw it on TV so many times. That's like the Mandela effect. That's the Ace Ventura effect.
Yep, the Ace Ventura effect. You finally know your quarterbacks, and Ace Ventura does German voiceover. I don't know. It's amazing.
Uh, Einhorn. Why can't I think of the other name?
Finkel?
Finkel Einhorn.
Finkel is Ironhorn.
Finkelhorn. What is
Einhorn
Einhorn?
is Finkel. I didn't understand that movie as a kid.
I mean, it's definitely
It's
you should.
it is
I feel
not.
like
Yeah, it's Me Too.
yeah.
Actually, he didn't get Me Too. The movie is Me
I was
Too.
gonna say the movie is definitely Me Too, even though we can like right now, I haven't seen it probably like 15, 20 years.
I saw it like 3 years ago, I feel like, or 2 years ago
And you laughed
during
a lot.
COVID. Oh yeah, but I knew that it was not appropriate.
But were you
Even
near
weirder,
anyone when you were laughing?
it may have been my one of my exes. Who knows? And I was
Okay, well
probably like,
that's why
"That's
you're not
funny."
together anymore. She broke up with you because you were laughing at the trans jokes.
Well, so here's my question. I did not understand when he undoes her skirt, and I guess that's
I didn't understand any of that. I saw it in
dude,
theaters.
or the worst case of hemorrhoids I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
I
And
saw it
I'm
in
like,
theaters. I had
I
no clue
literally
what was
was like,
happening.
okay, she has hemorrhoids. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So newsflash,
Newsflash, Ace Ventura, you're canceled.
we just
Even though Ace
canceled.
Ventura 2 is very underrated. Actually, never mind. That's also very racist.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Even
maybe they should not make an Ace
coming out of the
Ventura 3.
Rhino is one. Were they going to?
Oh wait, they did make an Ace Ventura 3. It's about his son.
I
He's not in it, and
recall
it's a kid that pretends
this.
to act like him.
Yeah, over the top with the pointy hair and everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're kind of tying it into Goldeneye
Yeah,
because
keep
we'll
going.
talk about Goldeneye because Ace Ventura 2 came out in 95, and so did
Okay.
Goldeneye.
97. Goldeneye.
Goldeneye the movie
Oh
came out
yeah,
in
you're
95.
right. That would be probably
Which, think
95.
about that. The game came out 2 years after the movie, destined for failure.
Yeah, you're
Like
100% correct. How are you going to be like, everyone will still love this? Everything did move
nowadays,
slower back then.
think about that. That's like a million years.
Yeah, nowadays it is. Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So anything else you want to talk about? Games you played before we
Yeah,
get
I think they should have made an Ace Ventura game based on the 007 engine.
and
Released it 2 years later.
I was gonna say they should have made an Ace Ventura. Why can't I think of
Simulator?
that? What's the second movie called?
Nature calls?
When Nature Calls. They should make
Yeah.
a quick time event of the rhino scene,
Yeah.
and it vibrates when you're.
The
So
rhino
it's pretty much
scene
just the level of the rhino scene.
is the best scene in, I don't know, maybe cinema. I don't know.
I mean, that's when comedians weren't afraid to get naked when they did comedy.
is, is that the
I mean, think
defining
about that. Two of the
moment?
most famous people that come out of things, they're butt naked. Danny DeVito coming out of a couch, Always
Couch.
Sunny, and Jim Carrey coming out of the Rhino.
Yeah,
Name
similar
me another.
fabric.
Name me another nude scene of comedian that's not funny.
I feel like you see what's his name's butt cheeks. MacGruber, whatever his real name is.
Oh yeah,
And that's pretty
something.
recent.
Yeah,
Yeah, he does some nudity, tasteful
there you go.
nudity. I think
So anyway, Ace Ventura when
tasteful
nature
nudity.
calls.
Yeah.
Uh, probably take out the racist parts.
Yeah,
Keep in the
that's,
Rhino part. Make a video game out of it.
you can even add some stuff from Ace Ventura 1, take out the trans jokes,
Take out the trans
and
jokes, but keep in the part. Okay.
okay.
When y'all was younger and I saw it in theaters, I did
Uh-huh.
not understand the blowjob joke in the beginning.
Which blowjob joke in the
He
beginning?
gets a blowjob from a woman for saving her dog, and
Yeah.
he's holding onto the ceiling because she's giving him like an insane blowjob. If you rewatch that, it's the funniest thing on the planet. But when you're watching it as like an 8-year-old, it makes you don't understand what's happening.
Wait, I actually don't recall, and I
He
feel like
literally grabs the ceiling and starts
a ceiling
swinging.
fan or
No,
like a
just like
lamp,
there's like bars
a
on the ceiling or
chandelier.
something.
Okay.
She unzips his pants and he starts like going nuts. And it's like, please, like, if you're listening to this podcast, just look up that clip online. It's like the best thing ever. That's what I knew that Jim Carrey was onto something. When you over exaggerate a blowjob. Nobody does that. I think Ernest tried to do it, but he did it in the one where he went to Africa and it got overshadowed by the racism.
It did. It did. God damn, dude.
Anyway, before we get into Goldeneye,
Before we get back to Goldeneye.
yeah, I've been playing all the Resident Evil games, and I'm currently on
Now-
Resident Evil 6.
No, you do this every episode. You just talk about your favorite game you're playing, and it's always Resident Evil.
Yeah, because I've been playing them since October.
All right. So, do you think we should talk about the newest Resident Evil you're playing? Go ahead. Let's do it right now.
Yeah, Resident Evil 6. It's terrible, but there's 4 campaigns, and I'm on the second one.
Who were the 4 campaigns?
You do a Leon Kennedy one.
Yep.
You do a Chris Redfield one.
Yep.
You do a Jake one. I don't know who Jake is.
Okay.
And you do an Ada Wong one.
Okay. Is Hunk the block of tofu?
Hunk is unblockable, yeah.
Okay. Is it?
Again, anyone doesn't know Resident Evil, there's just a character in it named Hunk,
Mhm.
and he's like a SWAT guy, and he's like a fan favorite. He
Yeah.
does nothing. He's just
Yeah,
like
he doesn't need to.
around.
Yeah. He doesn't need to. I'm fine
It's pretty
with
much like you're the equivalent of Hunk in
it.
this
A hunk
podcast.
to this podcast, and everyone's favorite. Yeah.
Oh shit, damn it. Yeah,
That's
so
pretty good.
anyway. Are you playing anything? Oh, Helldivers too.
Yeah, I was playing
Everyone's gonna
Helldivers
forget
too.
about it next month, dude.
They're not going to forget about it. I'm telling you, it's revolutionized gaming.
All right, so Resident Evil 6, Dan.
Yep.
So we can if you can click on the bottom with links below.
Click like.
If you buy, click like. If you buy the game, some proceeds go to us. Those will probably be in jail by the time this episode comes out. By talking about the Ace Ventura bad jokes and the blowjob scene.
Blowjobs. Yeah, I gotta look this up.
But Helldivers 2 and Resident Evil 6, that's what we're playing. What are you playing? Let us know. And we're going to come right back We're gonna
Yeah.
really dive into
Oh my
Goldeneye.
God, we're gonna dive.
Are we
into
gonna
it
dive
so
in the
hard.
order in which it was made? I don't know. Are we just gonna pick random facts? Maybe.
Maybe.
So we'll be right back.
So we'll be right back. Zinc. We're right back, guys. Yeah, I said zinc, but either
Zinc?
way.
Is that
Yeah,
James
zinc.
Bond's catchphrase?
Yeah, it could be.
Oh,
Zinc.
money, punny. I got zinc.
If something's zinc plated, it's golden. Can you name
Ah,
something golden from the game?
can I? Oh, the golden gun.
Yeah, dude. I think it's
So is
probably
it
a zinc
zinc? So
plated
it's a
gun.
zinc. It's basically a zinc gun.
I think. Listen, I may also be falsifying that information, so let's not keep running
They
with it.
sound like two different things.
I think zinc coated means golden in color.
It's like saying like Ace Ventura 1 and Ace Ventura 2 are the same.
No,
They're two different things.
they're kind of the same
They
thing.
both have offensive things in them, but they're two
different. Yeah, they're different.
Yeah.
They are different. I agree.
So anyway, yeah, what?
About this game?
Do I know about this game? Well,
I
fun
didn't play.
fact.
I didn't play it a lot with you.
Oh, really? I thought we did.
I played this with someone else who we never mentioned on this podcast. Actually,
Well,
his name may have come up once.
This is literally going to blow my mind, and I might even end this episode if it's someone I don't like.
I hope you don't like him. I hope he's listening right now.
Yeah, I hope he is too. Who is it?
His name was Frank G. Alla. Yeah, I just said almost his entire name. Yeah,
I like that you like left out one letter.
I know. He did have kind of a big head. Now that you mention it,
He had a huge fucking head.
Yeah, he did. Oh my God,
Yeah.
it wasn't huge. It was big.
And he used to. I went to high school with him.
You went to high school?
He
with
went to
him?
the same high school with me, and he
Yeah,
learned to
everyone went
drive.
to your
And
high
he used
school,
to drive
yeah.
himself to school. He used to listen to headphones on a CD player,
Oh,
like on a
that's awesome.
Discman, while he was driving.
Because it had a cassette player, I'm guessing, and he couldn't find a way to play CDs in his car. I
Yeah,
hope.
so he would have his CD players next to him with headphones in while he was driving.
Here's the bigger question: was it an ESP skip? How many seconds skip?
I didn't grab his front window and ask him.
You should have. Either way, I can picture him driving.
I would always see him leave and then put headphones in and like listen to music driving home.
That's kind of awesome.
Like the wildest thing.
Incredibly dangerous. Just shutting off the world.
I like that you said awesome, and then like incredibly dangerous.
Yeah. Shout out if he's listening. But
shout out Frank G. Headphone head.
He used to live on the other side of the boulevard.
Okay.
So do you know that there were like different groups like from our grade school that some of the kids lived on that side of the boulevard, some lived on our side of the boulevard?
Yeah, I do recall that.
Well, it was that crew of those kids on the other side of the boulevard. There was Matt Para something. I'm not even going to say ZZ. Yeah. Frank G, Matt Para, and I'm missing someone who's like an easy layup. I feel like Frank P maybe over there. I don't know.
There was another Frank P. There was a lot of kids we played video game with. I played Super Smash Brothers at some kid's house that I didn't even own Smash Brothers.
Well, I would go over there all the time, and that's the only game that would that we played that for like a year, that game.
How did we not play together?
I mean, I'm sure we played a few times. Like, I feel like I played with your brother.
So I was going to say, so first I'm going to cut in and say there's probably a reason why you did play and didn't anymore, because of my oldest brother who we were talking about, who used the Denzel picture as a glory hole.
Yeah, him.
He used to cheat when we played multiplayer.
Oh, he would make you wait until he set up things in the different rooms,
first of all,
or make you stay in the facility.
So I guess we're working in reverse. So we're going to talk about the multiplayer first. First off, multiplayer. First game that had fun multiplayer.
Do you know it wasn't even supposed to have multiplayer?
The multiplayer was a last minute addition.
So I think we should talk about the history of the game first.
Okay, I agree with you. But first, let's shit talk my brother.
Okay, I'm down with that.
He used to leave proximity mines at locations where
doors that you had to go into the other room. Yeah.
Well, he would leave it at the locations where you would respawn. So if you died and he knew the respawn locations, so when you respawned, you would die automatically because he planted proximity mines there. Yeah, he would do it all the time.
Wait, and hold on. After you died from that proximity mine, they would all blow up in the area. You would respawn somewhere else. While you were respawning somewhere else, he was putting them back in that respawn spot so that no matter what.
I mean, listen, if I did it, it'd be funny.
It'd be
but
hilarious.
He did it, and he was older.
It's kind of funny.
It wouldn't fly now. It's kind of like the same way like jokes in Ace Ventura wouldn't fly now. It's the way like my oldest brother would get canceled.
Ace Ventura. Away. Oh my God, Kevin! He's the Kevin Spacey. Ace Ventura canceled.
He would swing around like he was getting a blowjob
on the ceiling when he did this to you. He would just grip something in the ceiling and just swing around.
Can we just end the episode and go watch that scene? It's the best scene ever. It's insane. Um, yeah. So yeah, so talk about what do you want to talk about, like the beginning, like the origin of the game?
No, I didn't do any research for this. So I was hoping you would be able to lead entirely on how it started and everything. I only know like bits and pieces and stuff that you pick up over the years, but I do know it was one designer, I forget his name. It was on one of these pages you had here.
So I didn't know it was one designer. So
One guy was the main guy. What's his name?
the company that created it was called Rare.
Rare. Yeah.
They came out with Battletoads. They had Killer Instinct. So they had like and Donkey Kong Country. So
Yeah.
if you ever played Donkey Kong Country or Battletoads, it was the same company. They just kept progressing. And
Which is
I don't know
crazy
why.
that that was cartoony as hell and this became like realistic-ish.
Well, it's just also
Their
insane
version.
that when Goldeneye had already come out, they were like, "Hey, go make a game about this movie that's currently in theaters." Like, are you nuts?
I guess that's how they had to do things. I mean, everything had a longer shelf life anyway. Like a movie would come out and stay out in theaters for like 4 months. Now
Yeah,
it's
but do
like
you think it
five
would stay out
weeks.
for? Yeah,
No, I mean, I understand, but then it would hit Blockbuster. Remember Blockbuster?
yeah,
And then it would hit like the stores and you had to buy it. So, I mean, the shelf life for a movie was longer. Maybe not 2 years and
yeah.
change, but at least,
And probably by the time it came out on VHS, that's when the game probably came out.
I mean, maybe. I don't even know. But either way. So it took longer for all of this. But what you just touched on, this whole article was on a dude named Martin Hollis.
I sent
Didn't
it to you.
read it, dude.
I sent you the article. I didn't read it.
All right, that's fair. Anyway, he worked for Rare and he did a lot of the design for Killer Instinct and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And it's wild as a kid, like he wanted to make a Winnie the Pooh game and stuff. I'm just getting on here and I'm like, it doesn't make too much sense. And then I see it. They should have let him make a Winnie the Pooh character in Goldeneye, I think. But
I mean, why not? We'll
yeah.
talk about someone that they did put in the game and they had to take out because they got mad.
Oh.
A person got mad. Should I just say it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So in the multiplayer, you can pick every character from GoldenEye the movie and GoldenEye the game. So, but originally they had all the James Bond actors in there. So they had Sean Connery, George Lazenby, Roger Moore.
Oh yeah, I
They
did.
had
I saw
mapped their
this.
face, and the
Yeah,
only person that didn't give them rights, I'm pretty sure, was Sean Connery. So then they couldn't put any of them in.
that's kind of wild.
Like
So
legally, I think like they tried to put all them in, and they were just
yeah,
like Sean Connery didn't let his likeness in, so they had to just drop them all.
I hope they all pay for it.
And that motherfucker came back 10 years later to star as James Bond in a James Bond game.
Yeah, actually, that's a really funny question. I never really liked James Bond movies or anything like that. Isn't that weird? I
That's a
don't
little
hate
weird.
them. I don't hate them. I'm not
I
like,
think you're kind of
oh,
I think you're kind of sexist.
yep, because I don't think men should be able to do that to women.
I thought you were gonna say I don't think men should be able to be spies.
I
That's
think I
it.
was going there, and I was like,
Yeah, I think I feel like I saw like one of the Pierce Brosnan ones in theaters, and then I saw two of the Daniel Craig ones. I think the Daniel Craig ones are awesome.
good
Uh,
movies.
yeah, but anyway, what else you got? Because I have
I'm looking through all of it, and it's just like, have you seen a picture of the team, Rare team?
yeah. So funny enough, if anyone's
You
ever
know them?
played GoldenEye, the scientists in the video game,
Yeah, are them?
they are actually all the team members that helped create the game.
It's totally funny because I'm looking at the one, and he looks like the scientist
Yeah.
from the
So if you
game.
ever see the scientists and you're like they're on the white coast and they see a face
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's like probably the lead creator of the game.
Yeah, that's and you get to blow him up, shoot him if you need to, whatever.
David Doak, I believe his name
Yeah, I
is.
follow him on X, Twitter, whatever
You
it's called now.
follow a GoldenEye scientist on?
Yes, and
Did you just call it
he
X?
yeah, I did.
What the fuck is your
That's
problem?
what it's called
I don't.
legally.
I would never.
Listen, just because you don't love Elon Musk like I do, I have all his products, all his fanfare, all his books.
Does he write
I
books?
don't know. I was just lying. I hate him.
Here's
There,
another
I said
thing.
it.
Again, we're going completely out of order. The game it cost 2 million to make, and I don't know back in the 90s if 2 million was a lot, but worldwide, the sales of the game total 250 million.
That's
That's
wild.
like I'm trying to think of like the equivalent, like when the Blair Witch Project came out, and that was huge. That probably cost like $5 to make,
Yeah,
and it was so big it probably had the equivalent.
it was like
It
$5 bajillion.
sold over 8 million copies, which is not as much as I thought. I kind of GoldenEye, you're kind of disappointing me. I kind of thought it would be more.
I mean, also back then, video game numbers were different.
I feel like Nintendo 64 games were like $70 back then.
No, I feel like they were 50, 40, 50.
I'm
40.
pretty sure they were like 80.
Really?
Did I say
64
80 or
games?
70?
You said 70. You said 70 and changed it to 80, so we'll catch you in a lie at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. So it doesn't seem like a lot of copies, but
I guess not. It really depends on how they split it out and everything and the price, whether it was 70, 80, 50. Someone's going to come and fact check you, and we're going to find out
do it
it was
right
like
now. I know you can
$3.
easily look it up right now.
I'm not. How much was? How about this game? Let's take bets. I bet you it was $40.
That's fucking crazy. No, I'm literally thinking $70, 69.99. I feel like Toys R Us is probably selling Goldeneye for 69.99.
See?
I'm not sure what he's Googling. I guess like Goldeneye game ad.
I don't know. Hold on. On price release, first person shooter. I don't know where to look. You look
Okay,
this stuff. Oh, here we go.
go
Hold on,
back
hold
to
on.
that.
Nope. Oh, God damn it. Confirm my choices for cookies. Yeah, cookie this. I grab my
Yo,
crotch.
cookie this. I'm grabbing my
Cookie
dick right now.
this.
Yo, grab your dick. It was the third most popular N64 game. So it was Mario 64 and Mario Kart, and then GoldenEye.
Really? That's actually
Yeah.
pretty good company.
What else? What other fun facts that we
Fucking find out.
got? Much of the game is actually in black and white. I don't even know what that means.
Oh, I saw that. So apparently their computational limitations. I know. I love the nerd talk with you guys.
I'm deleting this
Dan's
part.
he's already glazing over. If you look at most of the environments, they're in black and white, gray, or beige because grayscale was easier to like pixelate and make so that they didn't have to like cut down on the resolutions. So what they did is they highlighted those areas with like yellow. So you'll go through a lot of like the moon base or stuff like that where it's like just rocks and stone or big gray rooms, and they put yellow accents on like the vertices or something because it would save them on everything. And you'd be like, "Whoa, I could follow the yellow," blah, 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 blah. And all they do is put like splashes of
I didn't
yellow
know
or
that at
red.
all.
Yeah, I did, but that's because
Oh, did you know that because you read this article, or did you know that because you understood?
Ah, damn it, I just came up with the answer, and you were right.
Was it 80
Upon
bucks?
its, upon its release in 1997, the Nintendo 64 game GoldenEye was priced at approximately $69.99.
Look at that. That's insane. And I think it's because it
It
was a
is wild.
cartridge. I think Nintendo, because they kept cartridges, they were so much more fucking expensive.
It could be. That still seems like a lot. That's nuts.
Yeah. And we all bought it.
I didn't.
Oh, you couldn't afford it. That's right. You
Yep,
are,
my
wasn't
family
your dad was living out of one cardboard box and they had
and
joint
my
custody.
mom.
They had joint
Yeah.
custody. Your mom was living out of a soup can.
Well, they had a joint custody of the can.
So,
So my dad would borrow
uh,
it from his cardboard box, and then my mom would need it. And then, yep,
so where were you this whole time?
that's why I'm outlawed from soup. I
I
can't tell
don't,
you about what I did.
I actually don't even know what you just said. It all just
Yeah.
blended into like one sentence,
Yeah.
but it's the way you said it.
It was a good
Yeah.
sentence saying. Anyway,
Did you know that GoldenEye was supposed to release on the Virtual Boy?
it sounds like a terrible idea. There's no way.
So they were coming out. They already made it. It was coming out for the Virtual Boy, and like I guess, well, Virtual Boy came out in '95. It was probably around the same time the movie came out,
Okay.
and it wasn't a first person game. It was a driving game. And this is actually what the log line says about the game on like a poster for the Virtual Boy. It says, if you thought rush hour traffic was a nightmare, wait until you get behind the wheel of 007's car. Avoid obstacles and blow the other cars away, or just blow them, like Ace
Yeah.
Ventura.
And then hang on the ceiling. Yep. I know you're
Buckle
going
off
there.
for safety because in this game, you never know what's going to happen. And there's a picture of like a red screen of like a car. So GoldenEye was supposed to be on the Virtual Boy.
That's, ugh. I don't think that would have worked.
What other fun facts do we got about this? So
Um,
I remember going nuts when I found out that there were bonus levels.
what are bonus levels? I
So
actually don't know.
bonus levels were when you beat the story, if you beat it on medium, there was a bonus level that was a level from one of the older movies. It was like a pyramid, it was like a space level or something like that. And then if you beat all the entire story on hard, you got another bonus level.
Really?
Yeah, and that's where the Golden Gun came from because the Golden Gun was a
Oh,
multiplayer.
and
But
you
the
had to
Golden
beat.
Gun was from like a 70s movie, I believe. And so they made a level for that corresponding movie.
Ah, is that the place with the square and the golden gun was in the middle of it? People
Yeah, I
call
think
that?
it's like a pyramid. It's like
Yeah,
pyramid
yeah, yeah,
looking.
yes,
Yep.
yes, yeah, yeah.
So I think that was one of the bonus levels. So I remember there's the archives. I remember there's the
Ah,
silo. I remember there's the
facility.
dam facility,
Uh-huh.
the dam, the snow
Oh
snow
yeah, snow
area.
place, the moon base or something.
And then the actual GoldenEye satellite at the very end is when you
Hmm.
chase down the bad guy.
Yeah. Can we talk about just multiplayer forever?
Yeah.
Because well, hold on. In single player mode, I feel like that game was actually kind of hard, and the joysticks would move, but you'd have to use the yellow buttons for looking up and
Yeah,
down.
to like strafe left and right, which is like, I don't
Well,
know if
and to
Matt,
look
I
up
don't,
and down, correct?
yeah, and I don't know if Mario 64 did that. And I was just so used to that when I was older, and I could
It's
never do that
weird.
now.
Yeah. No, if you play those games now, it's like even just looking up and down and like aiming is like so weird and hard to do.
You know what the best part was? So they re-released or they remastered it and released it on the
Hmm.
Xbox and the Switch and all that stuff. I remember it was on Game Pass. I downloaded
Of
it
course,
and
dude.
I
Hell
beat
yeah,
it within a
everybody. Game
day.
Pass.
And I beat it within a day. And I think I realized that like as much as I loved it when I was younger, I don't think then and I played it and I beat it. I don't think the nostalgia like gripped me. Like I played it and beat it recently, and that's it.
It's
I haven't like
it's
replayed it
because
at
you're not
all.
nostalgia for the single player.
Yeah, I guess that's it.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's the same game and it's cool and like the weapons were actually really cool. Like I can picture the AK, even the PP7. Oh, what's the worst weapon in the game? Go ahead.
A
No?
Clob?
Yeah,
Is that
dude.
what it
Good.
is?
Yeah, good. Were they fake names for guns?
Some of
I'm
them
trying to think
were,
of where their
yeah.
name. Yeah, like Klob,
But there was also like
AK-47. It's real.
AK-47. There was a laser watch. There was like James
Yeah.
Bond things.
Hmm.
Um, what was I had something for it.
So here's another cool one. Like when you unlocked all the different modes and everything and the
Hmm.
secrets, when we played at Frank, we'll call him Frank G's house. I know that's all I want to talk about is we always played with paintball mode on. I feel like we always
Oh,
played
so instead
with
of like the blood spots, it would be like different colors.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
so funny because I played more with it in paintball, the multiplayer version, than otherwise. There are other cheats too, or things that we always had turned on.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes we would play with big heads. Big head mode is always funny.
I would
Yes.
always shoot the scientists in single player. I
In the
was always
dick.
shoot the scientists in the dick
Yeah, there you go.
or
See,
the
I knew it,
hand
guys.
because if you shot them in the hand, they would
They
have
didn't
like a
die.
distinct animation, but they would like shake
Yeah,
their
like
hand and grab their hand.
yeah, I recall that.
Um, I liked throwing remote mines on people and then
You could
blowing them up.
stack them.
Yeah.
Did you know this? You know the ammo was in those boxes that would be on the floor?
Uh-huh.
If you threw like several remote mines or proximity mines onto an ammo storage on the floor and then went and picked up that ammo storage, it would disappear with the mine, but the mine was still there. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So you could literally like it would be an invisible mine. It's kind of cool.
Huh. I remember I think this was also single player. It was just a cheat code, but there was a mode called DK mode where it just made everyone's head big.
Yeah. Be was it called DK mode?
I think it was called DK mode, but I think it was also technically big head mode. But that doesn't make sense. Like in Donkey Kong, do they all have big heads?
I guess. I mean, they're bigger than they were in Goldeneye, maybe?
It's also what was the other thing? Listen, I'm gonna be honest to everyone. I had a bunch of links that I sent to Nick. I actually didn't even look at the links.
I sound more informed than you. Isn't that
You
funny?
do,
I'm
even though you
totally
had like a
going through it.
millisecond more of
Yeah.
information to look at them.
And I said sound, so it's not true, but I'm letting everyone think it is, and that's fine with me.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I own this. Oh, fun fact. It was the longest game I had from my childhood until recently. An ex from a couple years ago when I was getting all my stuff. I got all my childhood games from her, and she kept my original Goldeneye that looked in like pristine condition.
we need to find her and
And it was worse. That was actually a worse feeling than when she cheated on me. I was more depressed
yeah,
when I didn't get Goldeneye back.
yeah, that sounds terrible. That sounds
I think
like,
there was another game she kept. It was Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the
come on,
original. They
man.
like trust me when I say that they literally looked like the boxes were bought yesterday.
That's
Because I think I just
that's
kept them in a drawer. Like I didn't really like I wasn't keeping them pristine for a reason. I just
isn't
never
that
touched them.
I think that's what you used to do with women back in your 20s, right?
Put them in a drawer.
Yeah. And not be
That
able to touch them. I mean, that's pretty
yeah.
accurate too for your dating
Back
career.
in my 20s. Isn't that a crazy thing to
I
say?
know. Yeah, I didn't know what to say,
I
so
mean,
I
it's
just
not
went
you're
with
not
that.
wrong. It was a
Yeah,
long time ago.
yeah. Um, when we played multiplayer all the time, we would have certain matches too. I don't know if
Hmm.
you or we did this, but there'd be ones like we'd only use remote mines, only proximity mines. I know your
Hmm.
brother loved
There
that.
was also slappers only.
We never played slappers only because it took too long. Like never.
I hated playing rocket launchers only because
Oh my God, that would just
it was just
explosions everywhere.
yeah. What was the other thing? There's the pistols only.
Yeah, pistols only. You could do Oh yeah, like before the match started, you would pick which weapons were in the game anyway,
Mhm.
so it didn't have to be just that kind of
Yeah,
match. But yeah,
that was the first game, first multiplayer game I realized that you can pick the scenario and all the things before you got into the
yeah,
multiplayer.
I think that was half the fun. You'd pick your favorite level, like pick your modifiers, and like who you were. Did you know? I think Oddjob was the only one who was so low that like the
That the
bullets would
slapping
go
wouldn't
over him,
affect them.
and I mean you'd miss because it's a smaller
Yeah.
hitbox too. Yeah,
Is that racist though?
yeah, it is. I'm really sorry.
No,
So anyone
well,
who
I
picked
mean, we didn't make
Oddjob,
the rules. We
yeah,
didn't
I didn't
create
make the
the
rules.
GoldenEye.
No, not at all.
I mean, it's so funny that we have so much more information about the multiplayer and the single player we remember, but it's like obviously the multiplayer made this game such a sensation. I feel like if it didn't have the multiplayer, it wouldn't have.
We wouldn't talk about it today.
Yeah, I feel like this would just be like a game that people played and like,
That
oh,
was cool.
I have a rare copy of GoldenEye if it didn't have multiplayer. But the
Yeah,
fact that it does, everyone wants it re-released, everyone wants it still around.
yeah, this was big shit because of the multiplayer, and that's it. And I think it had to do with the fact that it was 4 player multiplayer.
Oh
Like if
yeah,
it was
yeah.
2 player, that would have been like, ugh, no one would have, whatever. It would have been gross.
Did you know that I think I was gonna save this for later, but they remade it with Daniel Craig. Like they remade
Oh, did
GoldenEye.
they?
It came out on the Wii, and it was a modern interpretation of it, and they just made the story like modern. And it was still first person. I bought it, of course, because I buy everything.
Yeah, I'm
And
aware.
it was fine, but I just remember buying it and being like, oh, this is all right. It
It was all right.
I just spent $50 on this.
Well, I mean, because it's just a skin, and we always talk about this before. I don't particularly like games or things that just add skin levels because it's like it doesn't change the mechanic of the game, it doesn't change whatever. And your favorite thing is skin. You like to
I
collect
love
it. You like
costumes. I
to.
love DLC. I love makeup. I
I
love changing your characters. Like I'm playing a Ghostbusters game right now, and I dress them up every time I open the game.
I think you were talking about making like lampshades out of skin. I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My uncle Ed Gein, he used to do it.
Who's that?
You don't know who Ed Gein is?
No, who's that?
He's the dude that inspired Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, good call, Ben. See,
He was
okay,
a
I
real
didn't know.
dude from the 40s that took women's skin and wore it.
Yeah, that's kind
Yeah, now is it funny?
no, I guess not. I
Yeah.
mean,
You go
maybe
from
it's
James
a
Bond, who takes
yeah.
advantage of women, to Ed Gein, who just takes women and wears
So
their skin.
so if he wears their skin, does he say shaken, not stirred about their
So
skin?
Ed Gein is pretty much like the 007 of what he does best.
And
Just like
because
Kevin
Spacey
Spacey
is the 007 of getting canceled.
of what he does best. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
You
I'm
could
not
kind of say
disagreeing
that
with any
we're
of
the
this.
007 of kind of what we do too.
What do we do?
We podcast.
You're gonna clip that. Oh my God,
Yeah,
I
of
can't wait.
course.
That's
I
why
mean,
he
if
does
anyone's
this.
watching,
He's just
hopefully
gonna clip that.
the
He's
clips
just
that I
gonna clip that.
release,
Yeah.
I started making them. They're going to be in the barrel of the James Bond
Yep. He's already
circle.
got.
I already got
You
them laid
guys have no
out.
idea. He literally picks the stuff he wants to do afterwards first. So he's like,
Uh-huh.
I want it to be in the 007 barrel of the gun, and I'm gonna have me and you and our heads in here. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And he's
I
like,
didn't
and
say
we're
any
gonna
of
do
that. I
this.
just sent you the
Yeah.
picture.
And what do you think the little voice is saying when you're thinking it? I can hear it. I can hear your little voice, dude. It's gonna be us in the barrel. And I'm always like, okay, that's fine.
All right, man, slow down. The police will be here in a second.
Hey, okay, Ed Gein.
So do you want to go on a break and we'll talk about a few more things after
Yeah,
this?
that's what I want to do. That's my favorite. That's my
I mean,
favorite thing
listen,
to
I
do.
feel like we kind of
Yep.
just went off memory. Some of the articles we didn't even like touch on.
Dude, what are we gonna do? Just
I don't
tell
know.
everyone everything that's in this article? Let's just
I
give
mean,
them homework.
hey, look it up yourself.
Look it up yourself. That's the new podcast.
Look, look it up yourself, the podcast.
Look it up
It's just
yourself.
5 minutes long. Be like, hey, it's about going on. Look it up
Hey,
yourself.
look it up yourself. There you
Look it up
go.
yourself, fuckface.
Here's the links. Oh, never mind. We're not even gonna give them to
Here's a picture of a link.
you.
We'll be right back after this, talk a little bit more
All
about
right.
it. All right, and we're back. Did you know this is not the first game where you play as Pierce Brosnan?
I feel like that's incorrect.
I'm pretty sure there was a Super Nintendo game where you play as Pierce Brosnan from The Lawnmower Man. Remember that movie?
Even weirder, The Lawnmower Man is the first movie I recognize as a horror movie
Was it a
because of
horror?
its marketing. It was like scary looking. The cover of it was scary.
Like
It was
CGI
on
man. Yeah.
correct, and it was on something, and I never saw it. And you just reminded me the movie even exists. So I didn't even know Pierce Brosnan was
Pierce
in it.
Brosnan's in it. He has a beard, I'm pretty sure. But I don't even know if the Super Nintendo game follows the plot of it. but I know you play as his character. So, was there a
Yeah.
Dante's? Is there a Dante's Peak video game?
Don't joke, dude. My dad bought Dante's Peak and Twister, and that's the two movies that graced our house when A, DVDs came out, B, when Blu-rays came out, C, when he got new stereo system, because my
Are we
dad
gonna talk
loved
about the third game you bought? A third movie you bought? In the comment your mom made?
Independence Day.
No, Armageddon.
What? Oh,
Remember,
Armageddon.
your
That's
mom made fun of
no,
Steve Buscemi's teeth
you,
in
you.
HD. I'll never forget
That's
that. She was watching it in HD, but I caught her in 4K, making fun of Steve
Steve
Buscemi.
Buscemi's teeth,
Crazy. She said
which
his
is
teeth.
crazy that his eyes are the fucked up part.
Steve Buscemi has fucked up eyes.
Yeah, do you not know this? Have you ever seen Steve Buscemi's eyes on Beautiful Women?
I'm too busy staring at his teeth.
Okay, well, you should look at his eyes on Beautiful Women. But anyway, what did my mom say about him that you claim you heard that I still to this day don't think it's correct? He has fucked up teeth. My
Yeah, I
mom
think she
doesn't
just
drop
said
the
he
F
has
word.
fucked up teeth, and I thought it was the craziest thing she ever said.
She doesn't drop the F word ever. You think she just casually to you when you were 12? His
Like
teeth are fucked up.
she whispered to me, she pulled me aside, like, "Hey, it's fucked up teeth,"
He has fucked up teeth.
and I'm like, "Mrs. C, what'd you just say?" And she's like, "Nothing."
Yeah. Dan, did you hear anything?
Yeah. So, Lawnmower Man. I feel
Yeah.
like there's another Pierce Brosnan movie that was potentially a video game.
I don't know,
Am I
dude.
wrong?
This
I mean,
is
he starred as James Bond for like 7 years, so probably not. I mean, there were other James Bond games with Pierce Brosnan's Bond in it. There was a Tomorrow Never Dies, which was a third person game.
okay.
There was A World Is Not Enough, which was the next one.
Oh
I
yeah, I
think
do.
that was first. I think that was also first person because they thought if they made it first person, people that bought GoldenEye would buy that, and
Yeah,
they
that
did
makes
not.
sense.
By the way, uh, yeah, I don't know, and I don't know if there was a Die Another Day one. I think gradually people cared less and less about the Pierce Brosnan James Bond.
As
Everyone just
as
remembers
it wore
GoldenEye.
itself out. Yeah, I would agree.
There's always when it was like the 25th anniversary or the 20th anniversary of the video game, people were like in interviews, people were asking him like, "Hey, did you ever play GoldenEye the video game? It's so popular among like millennials." And his answer always pissed me off because it made no sense. He was like, "Yeah, I tried it. I always shot myself in the foot, so I couldn't play anymore." And I'm like, you can't fucking shoot yourself in the foot,
So he was
idiot."
lying. He was
I
just
know he was lying. He's a lying piece of shit.
oh
And that's
wow.
what James Bond does. He lies to women. He's got STDs
Maybe that's why I don't like James Bond. I'm
because he's
telling you,
got STDs.
because he is mean to women and manipulates them.
I mean, you're kind of mean to women too.
Not mean to women. Name one time. The name 100 times I was mean to women.
You're like, shit, he can name one time.
He can name one time very easily.
All right, name 10 times.
Name 100 times. Anyway, all right, never mind. Forget it.
Did you know there was two spiritual sequels? Perfect
To the
Dark.
game.
Everyone knows Perfect Dark.
Oh yeah. I thought Perfect Dark was actually pretty good. It just
Perfect Dark was pretty awesome because it took everything that they learned from GoldenEye
yeah, I
and just
agreed.
sharpened it, just made it better.
Technically, it was a better game, but like it didn't recapture the magic, is what some
Yeah, I
people
don't
might
think
say.
too many people. I think they had multiplayer. I think it literally had everything and just amped it up, and nobody
Well,
praises
because
it
other
as much
games
as
had multiplayer at that point. Like I
yeah,
think the whole idea was the four-player multiplayer and being able to shoot your friends and pick the levels and the quirkiness of the mines and the explosions in that game were like kind of it. The
yeah.
explosions were pretty awesome.
I mean, even the smallest thing had an explosion. Like even like a
Yeah,
box. If
yeah.
you shot a box, it would explode like it was a bomb.
Yeah, I forgot you could shoot like the
I
ammo
always
and
found that
everything like that.
crazy. Like if you shot
Yeah.
a chair, it would like have a craziest effect.
Yeah.
The second spiritual successor, I don't even know if it was like a spiritual successor, but it was a game called GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Have you ever
I
heard of
don't
this?
recall this at all. No.
It was a Nintendo GameCube game, and they thought we're gonna make a James Bond game and just call it GoldenEye because so many people just love GoldenEye.
Yeah.
So we're gonna trick people to buying this game. So in it, you play as a henchman to one of the famous Bond. I don't even think James Bond's in the game. So you play as a henchman to one of the famous Bond villains, and you get a golden eye implanted in your eye.
Okay.
So it has like a scanner, and you can do all these crazy things with it. So you literally have a golden eye, and you play as a bad guy, and that's it.
Oh, so it's Golden Eye.
Yeah, so it's literally like they weren't even subtle about it. They're like, we're just gonna
Okay.
name the character Golden Eye.
Okay. Well, that's
And I think
just
like other
cashing in.
bad guys from James Bond's history show up in the game, but it was such like a fucking I don't even know. It's like the craziest thing. It's like just slapping Goldeneye on it because they just assumed everyone was gonna buy it.
Well, that's I mean, think
And
of
I
if
don't think
they
anyone I
didn't,
think it
it
was
would have
trash and
sold,
nobody bought it.
but it would have sold less, even if it, even less if it didn't have that name. So it kind of
Yeah.
worked, right?
And I think it sold even less also because it was on the GameCube. I don't think the GameCube sold
Ah,
many things.
GameCube. We should have a contest one time where we talk about the worst system.
I would do that.
All right, that's fine.
I think because I feel like even like big sellers on the Nintendo GameCube weren't big sellers. Like whatever Mario game on there, there was a Resident Evil game that was
Oh yeah,
the
that
it
was
was the remake.
4.
No, oh yeah, Resident Evil 4 was also
Oh
on there,
yeah,
but I feel like
yeah.
even the highest selling games on that system weren't sold like 5 units or
Now,
something.
what are you gonna do, dude? You want to
That
cancel
was my nickname
GameCube?
in high. That was my nickname in high school. 5 units.
I thought it was canceled 5. No, that
They
doesn't
said you're
work.
canceled 5 units, and they would measure
Yeah, in
my
your high
It was
school.
my butthole size.
That's I don't know how you measure a butthole in units, but you did it.
Spiritual successors. Got that out of the way.
Got it out of the way like you didn't want to do it. That's
No,
hilarious.
no, no. I was looking at my notes.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Notes. Yeah, all right, I
Yeah,
got those.
I just find that really cool that they technically have two sequels that aren't really sequels. Neither one of them are sequels.
Perfect Dark was a woman. I don't even
Her name
remember her
was
name or
she's
anything.
not just a woman, she's a person too.
Jesus Christ.
Her name was Joanna Dark, and in
Oh,
1998 she was really hot.
okay. I mean, wait, that came out in 98.
I just made up the year. I don't really
God
know.
damn it, dude. I was like, it had to be like 10 years later or 8 years later.
No, no, oh no. I think it was like not long after Goldeneye.
Really? It was that soon? Okay. My
Yeah.
memory is skewed of all these things. So
You would
GoldenEye
think it would
spawned a
you would think they
whole.
would be forever because it took forever for them to release a game based off a movie.
Now, it's also a small studio. Rare was at the time, or at
Oh,
least
was it?
the people that worked on GoldenEye was small studio. In
Oh.
fact, one guy was working on most of the code for changing it from single player to multiplayer, if I read
Oh
that
shit.
article
I didn't
correctly.
know that.
Yeah, and they promoted no listening to music at work. Uh, long hours were supported. Like they wanted you to work extra. It was the original company that what is it? Video game industry now? It's like
Crunch.
toxic, whatever it is. Well, when they want these developers to work overtime and like
Yeah, the Crunch. Isn't that what it is?
oh the crunch. I'm sorry, I thought
Yeah,
you said
yeah.
crunch. Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah,
mean,
the
isn't it
crunch.
basically how I treat you on this podcast?
Yeah, it is. I'm
No
getting
jokes. You
yep,
have
no
to
jokes,
record for
no
hours.
music,
No
record for
music.
hours, guys. I record 13 hours of material. He chops it down to like an hour.
And I'm like, haha, we're having so much fun. And then while I'm editing, I move around like Jim Carrey getting a blowjob.
Yeah, he does. Uh,
I didn't know that about the like the way they treat the employees.
yeah, this is according to my friend David Doak.
That's terrible. That's as like if finding out like a movie you watched as you were a kid and there was abusive behavior in the making of it.
I mean, I don't know. That's according to him. I didn't have the whole thing, and it's. I don't know that that was more towards the end of production.
Uh-huh.
There was no interaction, no company culture. Animator Brett Jones. Okay, so who that one was according to. They were hands off, and employees were encouraged to work long hours. We were
That's
like Oompa Loompas working in the back of Willy Wonka's
This is a
factory. Says,
quote.
"Oh, David Doak, yeah,
David Delac, the scientist.
yeah, dude." And he, I see him doing stuff with the game still all the time. Like people are playing this game. How many years later?
Are
It's
they
been a
like
while.
tagging him?
Yeah, yeah, they'll tag him
Oh,
and
okay.
he'll share it and stuff like that. But it's very funny. You weren't even allowed to pop out at lunchtime to say tax your car. I don't know what tax your car means, but maybe they're doing taxes
Is
in
that
the
like a
car.
British thing? Is he
I
British?
guess. I don't know. He could be.
Tax your car, mate. That was like Mick
Weird.
Jagger.
Yep, that's it.
It's me,
And
James Bond. Start me
yep.
up.
Mm-hmm. Rare divided 12 cents for every copy sold between the team according to their seniority and logged their overtime. So it looks like they paid him for all this.
Oh,
It rose
okay.
to 17.5 cents when the game sold enough copies. So that's kind of cool.
I feel like now it's the same scenario with same companies, but they don't pay them.
Well, this is, I guess, after it was a success. If it wasn't a success, they weren't going to give these guys all this money.
Yeah.
So
All right.
cancel. I'm going to cancel that
Yeah, we're
Division of
canceling
Rare.
James Bond.
Canceling James Bond. We canceled
Ace
Kevin
Ventura.
Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
Ace
Well,
Ventura.
Kevin Spacey wanted to be canceled.
He did get canceled. We
His
canceled
event,
him.
his event got canceled, and he was canceled also.
Bill Cosby canceled. We canceled him.
You said you wanted to bring him up earlier, and you just did.
I know. I just canceled him.
James Bond canceled. David Doak, you're canceled probably. You probably did something wrong.
I don't know. He's okay.
My brother used to throw proximity mines at respawn areas. You're canceled.
He is canceled. He can't do that.
You literally
You
cannot.
can't hit. He can't do that.
You
He
would get
he-
arrested if you did that now.
Do you know in with remote mines you could stack like 100 of them if you have unlimited
That's
ammo?
murder.
So what if he did that with proximity mines? A million of them in a row. it would blow up back into his face and he'd
That's
die.
terrorism. Can you say that on a podcast?
It's murder. You're right. I think moving forward, we should be tried for crimes that we committed, no matter when it was. And I think your brother, did he ever kill anyone in a video game? I think he did. I think we should look into this.
I like that. It's not like other people should be tried. Like we're included in this.
No.
Oh, we're
I
not
usually,
included in this.
No, I am. I usually use the pacifist mode when I play any game. Mortal
I'm
Kombat,
sure
I
you
would just
do.
put my controller down and just let the other team win. It would just,
All right. Oh, before we go, worst thing that I just realized is
yeah.
this is episode 63.
Oh,
and
it used to be episode 64.
And which should have been episode. No, I just realized this in general. This is episode 63. Why?
Will
I don't know why we didn't.
that?
I don't know why we didn't. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why we didn't wait till next episode to talk about this, because that would be 64
on
Nintendo
64th episode.
Yeah.
Maybe you can hold on to it. No,
I
guys,
can't do that.
Forget it. He can't hold on to an episode.
I already made the artwork. I already made the clip work.
He made the artwork. He made the clip work. He's gonna start cutting the episode.
I'm already gonna cut this like back and forth. This is like us being witty. Like, oh, hey. What was the laugh you did earlier?
I don't know. I don't know.
So anyway, if you have Goldeneye, if you have an original copy, send it to
Play
us because I need one. I have my Nintendo 64. Go play it on Game Pass. I think it's on Switch. It's a great game. Single player, probably maybe holds up.
Get three of your friends. Get three of your friends. Make sure one of them has a big head, right? Your other friend, maybe he's a little nerdy too. Maybe your other friend, it's someone's brother, and he.
And make sure the big-headed one wears headphones while he's driving.
Who knows? Make sure all this happens.
It's the only way the game will turn on.
And then when you play, drink sodas and like laugh.
Drink sodas,
eat
potato chips.
Like you're a kid. Like you're a kid. Oh my God, do it in the living room or the basement.
You just described that as a joke. I kind of want to do that.
I know. Well, that's what made it fun.
Like you would just get Domino's and
yeah.
Now I want to do that, but all my friends have kids and they never want to do that shit.
Borrow their kids. I don't know.
Why wouldn't I just ask them to play with me?
I don't know. They're old.
So I would borrow their kids. The kids who have no relation, don't care about old video games.
I don't know. Who cares? How old are they? 5, 6?
I mean, all my heroes are getting canceled. Might as well get canceled too, right?
You're going to be canceled probably by the end of today.
Perfect.
All right.
What if you just saw in the background of this, like a police officer walks in?
Like this, lights and sirens going off? I'd be like, well.
So that's our Goldeneye episode. We read some articles. We told you some information from the articles. We read the Wikipedia. I brought up a Virtual Boy poster ad. And the game didn't even come out.
Wow. That's crazy. Dip a gulp. Yeah, what you said.
Dip a gulp. Dick Tracy. Mumbles.
That's
his name.
I was thinking, is there a Jaws and Dick Tracy? Anyway.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But it's not unsimilar where like James Bond villains are kind of fucked up. Dick Tracy villains are kind of fucked up. There you go. So that is our Goldeneye episode. This is probably like a 5-hour long episode.
Yeah, I think it is. It feels like 5 hours.
So you got Goldeneye, go play it. If you don't, buy it.
Yeah, I think so.
Proceeds go to us. I don't fucking know.
I like where your head's at. I like where your game controller's at. So why don't you guys just hit that like button, hit subscribe, and then what are we gonna say? The blood's gonna fill up our screen.
Yeah.
Game over, right? Yeah,
game over. Dude, I wish I had a blood effect coming down too.
When you get shot. The noise when you get shot.
Yeah, when he's dying. Yeah. So just imagine we're dying, we're going down.
We're dying, you're dying. Yo, it would be so cool if you could edit it so that there's blood coming down our screen.
I don't like when people tell me how to edit. So I'm just gonna not do it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, game over, folks. See you later.
Game over. Thanks, guys.
Right, bye.
Blowjob scene.
That's what James Bond does. He lies to women. He's got STDs.
No, I didn't do any research for this, so I was hoping you would be able to lead me.
I've always wanted to Mrs. Doubtfire like a situation.
Dress like a woman, throw a large fruit at someone's head, and then afterwards say it was a run by fruiting.
You're disgusting for not knowing I'm disgusting.
You do this every episode. You just talk about your favorite game you're playing, and it's always Resident Evil.
I mean, all my heroes are getting canceled. Might as well get canceled too, right?
Can we talk about just multiplayer forever?
The 007 of Me Too. I mean, how
is he the 007 of Me Too?
Because he's really good at